The rain hammered against the windows of the old mansion, a relentless percussion that seemed to echo the anxiety gnawing at the group of students huddled inside. Emma glanced around the dimly lit room, her green eyes reflecting the flickering candlelight. She had always been the cautious one, the voice of reason among her friends, but tonight curiosity had lured them all into the depths of the abandoned house on a dare. Beside her, Liam smirked, his overconfidence masking a deep-seated fear of being overshadowed. He was the adventurous spirit, always seeking thrills to prove himself. Across from them, Mia fiddled nervously with a loose thread on her sleeve, her quiet demeanor hiding a tumultuous world of apprehensions. Noah leaned against the wall, pretending indifference, but his tapping foot betrayed his restlessness. They were here for the game, an old legend whispered among students. A test of courage that promised secrets and, perhaps, a glimpse into the unknown. Emma's voice broke the silence. "Maybe we should just leave. This place gives me the creeps." Liam chuckled dismissively. "Scared already? We haven't even started." He pulled out an antique board game, its surface etched with unfamiliar symbols and letters worn from time. Mia's eyes widened. "Where did you get that?" she whispered. "Found it in the attic," Liam replied, his tone casual but eyes gleaming with mischief. Noah pushed himself off the wall and joined them at the table. "Let's get this over with." As they gathered around, the air grew thick with an unspoken tension. The house seemed to breathe with them, shadows dancing slyly at the edges of their vision. They began the game, each taking turns answering riddles that appeared on the game board's center. At first, it was amusing, the challenges trivial, the atmosphere almost light-hearted. But when Emma hesitated on a question, a sharp sting coursed through her hand. She yelped, pulling back to reveal a small cut on her finger. "What the hell?" she exclaimed, blood pooling at the surface. Liam's expression faltered. "Must have been a splinter," he offered unconvincingly. But the cut was clean, too precise. Mia's face paled. "I don't like this," she murmured. Noah scoffed, though his eyes darted nervously. "It's just a game. Let's keep going." As they proceeded, the stakes escalated with each incorrect answer. Noah missed a question, and a searing pain shot up his arm, leaving a burn mark that resembled one of the symbols on the board. Panic set in. "This isn't funny anymore, Liam," Emma shouted. "I'm not doing this," Mia said, standing up. But the door they had entered through was no longer visible. The room's dimensions seemed to have shifted. Windows that once offered a view of the storm now revealed only impenetrable darkness. "We're trapped," Noah whispered, fear finally piercing his bravado. The game board glowed ominously, letters rearranging themselves into new commands. "Sacrifice a finger to proceed," it spelled out. Shock rippled through them. "Absolutely not," Emma declared. But as she spoke, the walls began to close in subtly, the ceiling lowering inch by inch. Liam's hands trembled. "Maybe if we just do what it says." "Are you insane?" Mia cried, tears streaming down her face. "There's got to be another way." The house groaned, a deep sound that vibrated through their bones. Objects began to move on their own. The candlesticks toppled, flames extinguishing as darkness swallowed the room. In the pitch black, their breaths came in ragged gasps. "Emma? Mia? Anyone?" Liam's voice wavered. Suddenly, a spotlight illuminated the center of the table, where a gleaming blade now rested. The game's message shifted. "Choose wisely, a finger or a soul." The implication was clear. Emma reached for Mia's hand in the darkness. "We have to stay together," she urged. But Noah, driven by a survival instinct, grabbed the knife. If this is what it takes... Before he could act, the blade flew from his hand, slicing across his cheek and embedding itself in the wall. A sinister laugh resonated around them. The house was playing with them, a puppeteer delighting in their terror. Desperation took hold. Emma closed her eyes, trying to calm her racing heart. She thought of her grandmother's tales about spirits and the power of unity against evil. "We need to refuse to play," she suddenly said. "If we don't give it power, maybe we can break the cycle." Liam shook his head. "And what if you're wrong?" The floor beneath them began to crack, a fiery glow emanating from below. Time was running out. Mia, usually so quiet, stepped forward. "Emma's right. We have to end this together." She reached out, and one by one they joined hands, forming a circle around the cursed game. They focused their collective will, summoning every ounce of courage. "We reject you," they chanted. "You have no power over us." The house reacted violently. Wind whipped around them. Unseen forces clawed at their clothes and hair, but they held firm. The game board rattled, smoke seeping from its edges. With a final, deafening crack, it split in two, and the oppressive atmosphere lifted. The lights flickered back on, and the room returned to its former dilapidated state. Relief washed over them. Just as they exhaled, believing it was over, a soft chuckle echoed, a sound not of malice but resignation. The fragments of the game board began to reform into a small, innocuous box. Emma cautiously approached it. Carved onto its surface were the words, "The game never ends." Before she could react, the box vanished, and with it, all signs of the supernatural occurrences. The front door swung open, revealing the calm after the storm. Years later, the friends would go their separate ways. The events of that night a silent burden each carried alone. But sometimes, in the quiet moments just before sleep, they would hear the faint sound of dice rolling, and wonder if the game was truly over, or if it was merely waiting for the next unsuspecting players to summon it once more.